The Internet computer, often referred to as ICP, has had one of the most fascinating and turbulent journeys in the crypto space. Launched with bold ambitions to decentralize the entire Internet, it entered the market as one of the most hyped blockchain projects of its time. But over the past few years, its story has shifted from explosive promise to deep correction, and now toward cautious rediscovery. To understand where ICP stands today, it's worth tracing its price history, examining the latest data, and exploring what's driving both optimism and skepticism in 2025. When ICP first launched in May 2021, excitement was sky high. The project's vision was clear: to create a decentralized cloud that could run applications, websites, and even AI systems directly on-chain without depending on centralized infrastructure like Amazon Web Services or Google Cloud. That vision caught fire with investors and developers alike. The token's first recorded exchange price was around $131, and within days, it rocketed to an all-time high near $700. For a brief moment, ICP's market cap rivaled the biggest players in the industry, placing it among the top 10 cryptocurrencies by valuation. This video is created for educational and informational purposes only. It does not promote or endorse any financial product, investment, or cryptocurrency. All information presented here is based on publicly available sources and independent analysis. Viewers are encouraged to conduct their own research before making any financial or technological decisions. But what followed was one of the steepest declines in crypto history. Within a year, ICP's price collapsed by more than 99%, tumbling to under $3 by late 2023. The reasons were complex: a mix of overvaluation, unclear messaging, and a challenging environment where new Layer 1 blockchains were popping up with faster marketing and easier developer onboarding. The hype wore off, and the market reset brutally. By 2024, ICP had become more of a long-term rebuild story than an immediate success. Fast forward to today, and the landscape looks different. As of early November 2025, ICP trades around $3.50 to $3.60, according to data from CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko. Over the past 24 hours, it's seen a modest double-digit uptick, roughly 115%, suggesting renewed short-term interest. Hovers near $1.8 to $2 billion, positioning ICP as a mid-cap crypto. Far from its early glory days, but not insignificant either. To put that in perspective, ICP remains down about 99.5% from its all-time high. Yet, this same statistic can also serve as fuel for those who see deep value in beaten-down assets with real technology behind them. In markets, recovery stories often begin at times when few are paying attention. ICP might be at such a crossroads today, not yet in the spotlight, but quietly rebuilding its foundation. One of the biggest developments behind the scenes is ICP's renewed focus on AI integration. The project has been positioning itself as a blockchain built not only for decentralized applications, but also for hosting artificial intelligence models directly on-chain. According to recent reports, the Internet computer now allows developers to build applications through natural language prompts, an evolution that hints at AI building apps instead of just humans coding them. It's an ambitious step that merges two major technological frontiers: decentralized computation and artificial intelligence. This aligns with the growing industry belief that AI's future infrastructure cannot rely solely on centralized servers due to privacy, trust, and control concerns. Another key advancement is in scalability. Over the past year, ICP's engineers have expanded subnet capacity, with the replicated state per subnet reportedly increasing to nearly 2 terabytes. This matters because it enables more data-heavy applications to run directly on-chain, such as video streaming, gaming, and machine learning workloads. These are use cases that most blockchains simply can't handle due to high costs or technical limitations. For ICP, this kind of scalability could be a game changer if it translates into real-world adoption. Meanwhile, the project's chain fusion technology continues to evolve. Chain fusion is designed to let ICP interact natively with other major blockchains like Bitcoin and Ethereum, not through traditional token bridges, but by integrating those networks' cryptographic signatures directly into ICP's smart contract layer. This could open doors to Bitcoin DeFi on ICP, allowing developers to build decentralized finance products backed by real Bitcoin without relying on wrapped tokens. If successful, this would make ICP one of the few chains capable of truly interoperable, secure cross-chain functionality. At the same time, ICP's governance and identity layers are also seeing progress. The Internet Identity 2.0 upgrade aims to simplify user onboarding, making blockchain authentication faster and more familiar for mainstream users. For developers, updated SDKs like ICCDK 0.19.0 and tooling improvements make building canisters, ICP's version of smart contracts, easier and more efficient. On the governance side, the Service Nervous System (SNS) model allows individual dApps to become their own mini DAOs, giving projects the ability to decentralize control and align communities with incentives. Together, these upgrades target two long-standing bottlenecks: accessibility and developer engagement. Now, let's connect these technical updates to the market picture. The recent bounce in ICP's price, up about 15% in a day, may be partially driven by these upgrades and the growing conversation around decentralized cloud computing. A major event that brought this narrative to life was the Microsoft Azure outage earlier this year, which took down parts of the centralized cloud ecosystem for several hours. It reminded many in the tech world just how fragile centralization can be. For projects like ICP, which are building decentralized alternatives, moments like this serve as validation for their mission. In fact, several analysts highlighted ICP as a decentralized cloud contender, in direct contrast to big tech infrastructure. However, the market still hasn't fully priced in these long-term fundamentals. ICP's ranking on major crypto lists has slipped steadily, now sitting near the edge of the top 50. Despite heavy development activity, adoption metrics, like total value locked or user count, remain moderate compared to competitors such as Solana, Avalanche, or Polygon. That's why ICP today feels like a quiet work in progress rather than a loud market mover. The technology is maturing, but the ecosystem still needs more visible traction. So, what does the price tell us about sentiment? After the catastrophic drop from $700 to under $3, many investors see ICP as a case study in overhype and underdelivery, but others view it as a deep value infrastructure play. The difference lies in how one interprets progress. On one hand, the roadmap is active, with AI, compute scaling, and identity updates all in progress. On the other, market recognition lags behind. The gap between execution and perception is wide, and that's often where opportunity or risk hides. Let's break that down further. If we consider ICP's circulating supply of roughly 540 million tokens, its market cap near $2 billion implies a per-token valuation of around $3.60, exactly where it trades. If the network can attract substantial developer adoption and user activity, even moderate growth could expand that valuation quickly. But if usage remains slow or competitors capture the spotlight, the market may continue to undervalue the project. For context, Layer 1 ecosystems like Solana and Avalanche have maintained far higher valuations despite offering similar or even narrower feature sets. That suggests ICP's potential ceiling could be much higher if the ecosystem gains momentum. Still, until major dApps, DeFi activity, or enterprise integrations appear, the market will treat ICP with caution. Investors have seen grand visions before. Execution is what counts now. Now let's move to something concrete: price calculations and scenarios. At today's price of roughly $3.50, ICP trades more than 99% below its all-time high. If, hypothetically, the project managed to regain even 10% of that peak, the price would land near $70, a 20x move from here. While such projections are purely theoretical, they demonstrate the asymmetric potential of assets that have fallen this far. On the other hand, a drop back to $2 would represent about a 43% loss, which shows how volatile this range remains. If the price rose to $10, the same holding would be worth around nearly tripling the initial amount. But if the price fell to $2, the value would drop. This simple calculation underlines both the upside potential and the significant downside risk. Beyond numbers, what truly drives ICP's price trajectory is narrative momentum, and that's starting to turn again. The narrative of a decentralized cloud combined with AI capabilities is powerful in a world increasingly dependent on centralized infrastructure. Add to that the growing interest in cross-chain interoperability, and ICP suddenly fits multiple emerging narratives at once. However, turning narrative into tangible adoption is the ultimate challenge. For now, ICP's ecosystem needs visible success stories. DApps with active users, partnerships with recognized enterprises, or AI models that actually run on-chain and gain attention. Looking ahead, three themes stand out for ICP's future trajectory. First, AI as the new blockchain frontier. If ICP can prove that AI applications can securely and efficiently operate on a blockchain, not just as a gimmick but as a scalable solution, it could carve a unique market niche. Second, cross-chain expansion. Through chain fusion, ICP aims to link Bitcoin and Ethereum liquidity directly into its ecosystem, enabling new DeFi and data possibilities. Third, mass adoption through usability. Upgrades like Internet Identity 2.0 and better developer tooling reduce friction for both users and builders, a crucial step for long-term growth. That said, risks remain clear. The blockchain sector is crowded with competition, and attention cycles move fast. Projects like Solana, Aptos, and Near are aggressively chasing speed and developer engagement. ICP's more complex architecture sometimes makes onboarding slower, which can deter new developers. There's also the challenge of perception. For many, ICP's early price collapse still overshadows its technology progress. Rebuilding trust in the market will take consistent delivery, transparent communication, and visible results. Technically, the next resistance zone for ICP sits around $4.50 to $6. This range has repeatedly acted as a ceiling over the past year. Breaking above it with volume would indicate a stronger bullish trend. Until then, the market may continue to see ICP oscillate between $3 and $5, consolidating as investors wait for clear catalysts. A confirmed breakout could attract new speculative interest, especially if tied to concrete product launches or major integrations. Let's consider possible scenarios for the next 12 months. In a bullish case, if ICP continues to execute its roadmap, scaling compute capacity, integrating AI applications, and expanding Bitcoin and Ethereum interoperability, its price could realistically move towards $6 to $10, representing a 2 to 3x return from current levels. In a neutral case, the project keeps progressing, but adoption remains slow, leading to sideways trading between $3 and $5. In a bearish case, broader crypto market weakness or lack of visible progress could push the price back towards $2, testing investor patience again. In any case, it's important to treat ICP as a long-term speculative project rather than a short-term bet. The fundamentals are strong in vision, but not yet in traction. The technology is advanced, but the ecosystem must catch up. Patience and measured risk exposure are key. For commentary purposes, it helps to highlight that ICP's story mirrors the broader cycle of innovation in crypto: bold beginnings, painful correction, and steady rebuilding. Many once-forgotten projects later became comeback stories when market conditions shifted and narratives aligned with new technology waves. With AI and decentralized infrastructure now in focus globally, ICP may have the right ingredients. But execution will decide whether it's remembered as a pioneer or a missed opportunity. To sum it up, Internet Computer, ICP, sits today at a delicate but intriguing position. Its current valuation, around $3.50, reflects both skepticism and potential. The network continues to evolve technologically, with upgrades like AI integration, increased storage capacity, and identity improvements. Yet the market remains cautious, waiting for real-world proof of concept. For investors, traders, or enthusiasts following this project, the message is simple: stay informed, stay critical, and watch the roadmap closely. If ICP manages to connect its technology with visible adoption, real applications, partnerships, and cross-chain functionality, its story could shift dramatically. Until then, it remains a sleeping giant of sorts, backed by one of the most ambitious visions in blockchain: rebuilding the internet itself, one decentralized component at a time. All right, if you learned something new or enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell icon so you don't miss future updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.